Alright, in this video we're going to cover the upper tension gauge. So if you actually buy one of these, take it out of the box, there's some instructional pages with it as well. A good feature to look at is going to be your line here. 0. That should line up with your 0 here. And as you can see, this one's way off. You can adjust it up here. You can loosen up the set screw up front, and then this piece will adjust it out further, so that should bring it closer to the 0 mark. There we go. Getting a lot closer. A little far now, so I'll bring it back in. Looks a lot better. So then what I'll do is I'll lock that down. That way it's tight. So now my line here is marked right with my 0 line. That way we can get a better accurate reading when you put your thread on that hook and pull, give you that degree that we need to look for our thread. And again, for our upper tension, the value for the upper tension, let's say if you're using rayon thread, it's going to be 100 to 130. Polyester, a polyester spun is going to be a little bit higher tension value. It's going to be a 110 to 150. Now I tend to kind of adjust mine a little bit towards the lower value, so I would be more at the 110 versus the 150. And with our Blue Sky, we have thread pin holders here, so that makes it a little harder for checking our tension value, because that's an extra tensioner there that's holding that thread. So this pin needs to be released to actually get a true accurate tension value. So what I would suggest to do is, if you want to check, a certain needle, you may have to do this, maybe even throw in a design with 15 colors where you can start it, the pin will pop, and then you can check that tension. So with this design I have right now, let me just hit start. There we go. So I'm on needle 1, needle came down twice, popped my pin. So at this point I hit my stop. Now I can check my tension value here. So I can even get a feel for it just by pulling on my thread. Alright, and using your tension gauge, the hook here, you want to make sure your thread, top thread, goes into that hook. And I'll even do a second loop and come underneath. That way it's in there twice, wrapped. And then what we want to do is get a look down here. So when we pull this, just a nice steady pull to get the value of that tension. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this. You can't see it on camera. I am at about 63, 65. So mine is really loose right now. I'll double loop it again. Okay, so what I'm going to do is try to get the camera view for you to see it. So as I pull straight out, you can see it's not very tight. It's not even up in the 100. Okay, so what we'll do is come up top and adjust our tension a little bit tighter. And So I'm on needle 1 here. So to start out, I would come up to my very top tensioner up on my thread rack up here. Way up here. So I would come up here, give it probably 2 good full turns, maybe 3. Give it a little feel. And then I'd even come to the second tensioner knob here. Give it another 1 or 2 complete turns, and then give it a feel. Now that to me feels a lot tighter right now. So what I'll do is I'll put my meter or my gauge back on here to get an accurate reading again. In the hook once and then wrapped. Second one to get a, so that way the thread doesn't slip. I'm going to pull straight out, and I'm right at that 110 mark now, just with those 2 to 3 turns on each tension knob. So again, I'll wrap this twice. I'm going to pull the camera, give you a view. Again, my pin is released because we started to sew here. See, now we're at that 110 area as I pull on that. And that's where you want to be at, 110 to 150 value for the polyester threads. And that's usually what I do, is I'll adjust my tensioner here and here to get in that ballpark area. So if I'm at, let's say, 100, real close to 110, I'll get close with both of these, and then I can use this as my fine tuner to tighten this up just a little bit more to dial it into that 110, 120, wherever I want to be at. I use this, all these here is more of a fine tuner. I try to get these more in the value of the area that I need to be at, and then I fine tune it with this one. So hopefully that'll help you out with how to use your upper tension gauge. And again, try to make sure you adjust that so it's a little more accurate as well. So that 0 mark should be lined up with the 0 on there, and you can adjust that here. So I'll show you how mine was when it first picked it up. It was down lower. There we go. So you can see that line's way down below the 0, and you want to get it up even with the 0. This one will bring it up, and then this one locks in place. Getting closer. Much better. And then, like I said, once you get it to where you want it, make sure you lock it down. Right at that 1-0 line, right with the 0. That's where you want it. And then again, when you use your thread on it, get it in the hook, wrap it a second time, that way your thread doesn't slip. And when you pull on it, watch your tension value right there. It's just a nice smooth pull. You don't need to pull real hard or anything, because the harder you pull it, the more it's going to move up higher on you. So think of it as sewing. You want to have a nice, smooth, steady pull, just like it's embroidering. Alright, so that's how you use your upper tension gauge and set your values. Hope this video helps.